Hello, you're watching CVR News English. This is Havila Kottapalli. Welcome to World Bulletin. We'll move into the details. A Peshawar-bound passenger train carrying around 500 people was hijacked by Baloch Separatists in Pakistan's restive Balochistan province on Tuesday, leading to a tense standoff with the army. Baloch Liberation Army has released the first video of the Jafar Express train hijack, and BLA on 11th March hijacked on the 9-coach Jafar Express. In a statement, the BLA said that they had killed 20 Pakistani army personnel, shot down a military drone and were holding 182 people hostage, media reported. While the Pakistani government has provided limited information and the Baloch Liberation Army claimed responsibility for the attack, stating that its insurgents opened fire on the Jafar Express and took 214 hostages, including the security personnel. The group also claimed to have killed 30 Pakistani military personnel and threatened to execute all hostages if security forces did not retreat. However, local police disputed these claims, stating that about 350 passengers were safe. The situation remains tense as security forces attempt to regain control of the train and secure the release of the hostages.
యాజమాన్యాన్ని 11 గంటల వరకు కూర్చోబెట్టడం జరిగింది అధ్యక్ష. ఒక సంఘటన జరిగింది. ఆ సంఘటన వెంటనే మేము మరి సీరియస్గా తీసుకుని వాళ్ళని ఆదేశించడం జరిగింది అధ్యక్ష. వదిలేశారు. మొన్న కలెక్టర్స్ మీటింగ్లో కూడా చెప్పడం జరిగింది అధ్యక్ష. ఎట్టి పరిస్థితుల్లో అరెస్టులు అనేవి ఉండకూడదు, అది పూర్తిగా కార్మిక శాఖకి సంబంధించింది, ఓన్లీ ఎఫ్ఐఆర్తో పోలీసుల బాధ్యత తీరిపోతుందని చెప్పడం జరిగింది అధ్యక్ష. అలాగే సుమారు ఈ ఎస్ఐ హాస్పిటల్స్లో ఈ కార్మికుల భద్రత ఆరోగ్య విషయంలో గత ప్రభుత్వం పూర్తిగా చిత్తశుద్ధి లేకుండా వ్యవహరించింది అధ్యక్ష. సుమారు 450 కోట్లు మన ఐపీ ద్వారా వస్తుంటే 190 కోట్లు మాత్రమే ఇండెంట్ ఈ జీతాలకు వాడి మిగతాది తిరిగి కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వానికి పంపేసేవారు అధ్యక్ష. కనీసం ఒక ఇటుకి కానీ ఒక ఇసుక కానీ వేసిన వైనం లేదు అధ్యక్ష. మరి ఈ 9 నెలల ప్రభుత్వం, ఈ 9 నెలల పాలనలో సుమారు 9 హాస్పిటల్స్ శాంక్షన్ చేయడం జరిగింది అధ్యక్ష. విజయనగరంలో కానీ, విశాఖపట్నంలో కానీ, అచ్యుతాపురంలో కానీ, అలాగే గుంటూరు, వివిధ కర్నూలు, నెల్లూరు, వివిధ ప్రాంతాల్లో హాస్పిటల్స్ ఆమోదం పొందడం జరిగింది అధ్యక్ష. 130 హాస్పిటల్స్, బెడెడ్ హాస్పిటల్స్. అలాగే ఇందాక బర్న్ వార్డ్ కూడా లేదని చెప్పడం జరిగింది అధ్యక్ష. ఆ బర్న్ వార్డ్ కూడా ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారిని అడగడం జరిగింది అధ్యక్ష. ఆ బర్న్ వార్డ్ కూడా వెంటనే పెట్టమన్నారు. అలాగే స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ సెంటర్ ఒకటి పెట్టమన్నారు అధ్యక్ష. అలాగే ఏదైతే 205 కెమికల్ ఫ్యాక్టరీస్ ఉన్నాయో వాళ్ళని స్కిల్ ఇచ్చుకుని
Well, there was a train hijacked in Pakistan. Well, there were many speculations on these train accident, and almost approximately 200 people have been died and many other people were injured in this incident. Well, there was a European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen declared new retaliatory trade measures in response to the Trump administration's decision to raise tariffs on a wide range of imports, and the US had officially increased duties on steel and aluminum products along with the textiles, home appliances and agricultural goods, citing the need to protect domestic industries. The European Union in the turn moved to counter these measures, emphasizing the importance of fair trade and economic balance, and the escalation in trade tensions raised concerns about the potential disruptions in global supply chains and economic relations between the two economic blocs.
A 25% tariff on imports of steel and aluminum. We deeply regret this measure. Tariffs are taxes. They are bad for business and worse for consumers. They are disrupting supply chains. They bring uncertainty for the economy. Jobs are at stake, prices up. Nobody needs that on both sides, neither in the European Union nor in the United States. The countermeasures we take today are proportionate. As the United States are applying tariffs worth $28 billion, we are responding with countermeasures worth 26 billion euros. We will always remain open to negotiations. We firmly believe that in a world fraught with geo-economic and political uncertainties, it is not in our common interest to burden our economies with such tariffs. We are ready to engage in a a 25% tariff on imports of steel and aluminum. We deeply regret this measure. Tariffs are taxes. They are bad for business and worse for consumers. They are disrupting supply chains. They bring uncertainty for the economy. Jobs are at stake, prices up. Nobody needs that on both sides, neither in the European Union nor in the United States. The countermeasures we take today are strong but proportionate. As the United States are applying tariffs worth $28 billion, we are responding with countermeasures worth 26 billion euros. We will always remain open to negotiations. We firmly believe that in a world fraught with geo-economic and political uncertainties, it is not in our common interest to burden our economies with such tariffs. We are ready to engage in a 25% tariff on imports of steel and aluminum. We deeply regret this measure. Tariffs are taxes. They are bad for business and worse for consumers. They are.
Despite a sharp stock market sell-off and growing concerns about the US economy, President Donald Trump dismissed the possibility of an impending recession. Addressing the media, he expressed confidence in the country's economy resilience, stating that he did not see a downturn at all. Trump maintained that the economy remained strong and predicted that it would continue to thrive despite ongoing jitters in financial markets, and his remarks cases investors grappled with volatility, prompting debates over the state of economic stability and the administration's approach to fiscal challenges.
Allow millions of people to come in that are prisoners and mental institution patients.
Your comments the other day not ruling out a potential recession seemed to rattle the stock markets. The Commerce Secretary said there wouldn't be one.
Boom. Just so you know.
Just specifically on the recession.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a recession?
I don't see it at all. I think this country is going to boom. But as I said, I can do it the easy way or the hard way. The hard way to do it is exactly what I'm doing, but the results are going to be 20 times greater.
Mr. President, you asked...
And remember, Trump is always right. Right?
And what do you say to Americans?
If you look at what I've said over the last 10 years, Trump has been right all the time. I'm not allowed to use it. Can you believe it? One of my great things in life is that I can, I like to drive cars, but I'm not allowed to. The right thing to do is what we're doing. We're going to get our jobs back, and we're not going to be left at. Now, I will say this, that already Canada, and I respect very much, as you know, there's a very strong man in Canada who said he was going to charge a surcharge or a tariff on electricity coming into our country. He has called and he said he's not going to do that. Okay, he's not going to do that. And it would have been a very bad thing if he did, and he's not going to do that, so I respect that. But we were just informed that he's not going to do that. Look, we've been treated very unfairly by Canada. We've been treated very unfairly by Mexico. But we've been treated very unfairly by every country all over the world. The European Union is horrible, horrible. And we're going to get it back. And I have a choice. I could just coast, and eventually there'd be a blow-up down the road, maybe a long way. But we owe $36 trillion, and we're going to get it back. We're the biggest, we're the best, and I'm very optimistic. I have to tell you, I'm very optimistic about the country. Much more optimistic this way than if I did it the easy way.
Yeah. When you look at the market selling off, that didn't concern you? And where do you see it going?
Doesn't concern me. I think some people are going to make great deals by buying stocks and bonds and all the things they're buying. I think we're going to have an economy that's a real economy, not a fake economy.
Remember your first call? The Ontario Premier calling you and giving you his decision about the electricity surcharge, and you said you were pleased about that. Will you make a different decision now about the tariffs on Canada? Will you reduce it?
At that, but probably so, yeah. He was a gentleman. I'm just telling people, this man is a great patriot, and you should cherish him. You should cherish him. I have a little statement. We have to take care of our high IQ people, because we don't have too many of them.
Tariffs are the 50%. Is that going to go into effect on Canada or not?
Which one?
The 50% tariffs?
I'll let you know about it. Yeah,
okay.
I'll let you know. But I appreciated his call. I thought it was nice. This is beautiful. Whoa! I wouldn't be doing it, and if I didn't say what I'm saying, and I'm being very honest, and it's much more difficult than just sitting around and allow millions of people to come in that are prisoners and mental institution patients.
Your comments the other day not ruling out a potential recession seemed to rattle the stock markets. The Commerce Secretary said there wouldn't be one.
Boom. Just so you know.
Just specifically on the recession.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a recession?
I don't see it at all. I think this country is going to boom. But as I said, I can do it the easy way or the hard way.
Well, NASA's latest space telescope, the SpaceX Observatory, was successfully launched into orbit aboard a SpaceX rocket from California. The telescope is designed to conduct an unprecedented survey of the entire sky, capturing a vast array of data on hundreds of millions of galaxies and their cosmic glow since the dawn of time. The $488 million missions aim to provide crucial insights into the formation and evolution of galaxies while investigating the rapid expansion of the universe in its earliest moments. As the observatory begins its journey, it promises to unlock new dimensions of understanding about the cosmos and humanity's place in it.
15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9. Go SpaceX, go SpaceX, go Punch.
SpaceX and Punch on their way to map out our universe like never before and revolutionize space weather forecasting.
are T plus 30 seconds into flight, and we are currently firing all 9 of those M1D engines. And after about 50 seconds, we'll begin throttling down those engines, which slow the vehicle down just slightly in order to prepare.
Power telemetry nominal.
In order to prepare for passing through max Q, and that is maximum aerodynamic pressure. That's the largest structural load that the vehicle will see during ascent, so slowing the vehicle down.
Vehicle supersonic.
Slowing the vehicle down will reduce some of the loads that it experiences through max Q. That's coming up here in a few seconds.
Max Q.
Right on time. And now we have a few events that are coming up in quick succession, so we want to lay them out for you really quick. It's going to start with main engine cutoff. That's MECO, and that's when SpaceX shuts down all of its 9 engines on its first stage, which we are getting a great view down the pipe right there. Shortly after that, Stage 1 and 2 will separate from each other, and then seconds later, the first stage will flip back towards Earth, while the second stage will continue on, igniting its MVAC engine. Now that call out is Second Engine Start 1, or SE1, and this burn will last about 6 minutes. After that, the boost back burn on the first stage to put it back on a trajectory towards landing zone 4, which again is back here at Vandenberg, just about 1,400 feet from where Falcon launched from in the first place. Wow, look at that shot. All Merlin engines firing right there, and we have such a great live shot of it.
Main engine cut off.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
Stage 1 boost back startup. Coming up next, we will see fairing deploy, and that's when the 2 fairing halves will separate and expose Sphere X and Punch to the atmosphere of space. SpaceX will attempt, they will actually retrieve those fairings back downrange on Go Beyond once they get back to Earth.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There we hear fairing deployment confirmed, and what you see on the screen is the fairings separating and showing Sphere X and Punch on their way to space.
While the United States has decided to restore intelligence sharing with Ukraine and lift its temporary hold on military aid, signaling renewed support for Kyiv in its conflict with Russia. The decision follows Ukraine's agreement to a proposal put forth by the Trump administration, though the specific terms of the agreement remain unclear. While Kyiv has shown willingness to engage in negotiations, and the success of the initiative now depends on the Moscow's response, both sides have expressed an interest in securing long-term stability, but uncertainties remain over whether the latest diplomatic efforts will bring a lasting resolution to the ongoing war.
His goal in this entire process has been to bring about an end to this war. It's a terrible war, a costly war, a bloody war, and his number one interest is ending this war once and for all. Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally thank, we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball is now in their court. And but again, the President's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Well, just to add to the Secretary's comments, the Ukrainian delegation today made something very clear, that they share President Trump's vision for peace. They share his determination to end the fighting, to end the killing, to end the tragic kind of meat grinder of people and national treasure that's happening on the front in Ukraine. number one. Number two, they made concrete steps and concrete proposals, not only accepting our proposal for a full ceasefire, which you can see the details of which are in our joint statement that we released together, but we also got into substantive details on how this war is going to permanently end, what type of guarantees they're going to have for their long-term security and prosperity, but also really looking at what it's going to take to finally end this, the horrific fighting. The other piece that I just want to make very clear is President Trump started this diplomatic effort in the Oval Office, talking to both leaders, both President Putin and President Zelensky back to back, and now that shuttle diplomacy continues. We have a named delegation in terms of next steps from the Russian side. We have a named delegation in terms of next steps from the Ukrainian side. I will talk to my Russian counterpart in the coming days. Secretary Rubio.
Russia launched a large-scale assault on Ukraine, firing a ballistic missile and deploying 126 drones in coordinated strikes that caused widespread damage. Ukrainian officials reported that the attack set a fuel depot ablaze and injured at least 2 people in various regions of the country. In the southern port city of Odessa, and emergency response teams mobilized over 100 personnel to manage the aftermath of the strikes. The latest wave of aggression has intensified concerns over escalating hostilities, with Ukrainian forces struggling to fend off the relentless attacks amid ongoing geopolitical tensions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held
सागर से आगे बढ़कर के महासागर यानी म्यूचुअल एंड होलिस्टिक एडवांसमेंट फॉर सिक्योरिटी एंड ग्रोथ अक्रॉस रीजन्स। इसमें ट्रेड फॉर डेवलपमेंट, कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग फॉर सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ और म्यूचुअल सिक्योरिटी फॉर शेयर्ड फ्यूचर की भावना समाहित।
In Port Louis, Mauritius Prime Minister Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam hosted a state dinner in honor of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the event celebrated the strong diplomatic and cultural ties between India and Mauritius. Highlighting their long-standing friendship during the dinner, both leaders engaged in discussions on enhancing bilateral cooperation in various sectors, including trade, investment and regional developments. The occasion served as a testament to the deep-rooted partnership between the two nations, reaffirming their commitment to continued collaboration and mutual growth.
Your Excellency, Shri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Paul Bélanger, External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. Jay Shankar, distinguished guests. On behalf of the government and people of Mauritius, and in my own personal name and that of my wife Veena, it is both a great honor and especially joyous occasion to welcome you.
In the Washington, D.C., Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt criticized India's high tariffs on American products, citing a 150% tariff on American alcohol and a 100% tariff on agriculture goods. She argued that such trade barriers negatively impact exports, particularly Kentucky bourbon, making it difficult for American business to compete in the Indian market. Leavitt also emphasized that U.S. President Donald Trump believes in reciprocity and is committed to protecting the interest of American businesses and workers. She also asserted that it is the time for leadership that actively addresses trade and ensures the opportunities for U.S. industries.
The president is again responding to the fact that Canada has been ripping off the United States of America and hardworking Americans for decades. If you look at the rates of tariffs across the board that Canadians have been imposing on the American people and our workers here, it is egregious. In fact, I have a handy-dandy chart here that shows not just Canada, but the rate of tariffs.
Well, those are the latest updates in World Bulletin. Keep watching CVR News English. This is Havila Kottapalli. Have a good day.